Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Power Chat. Welcome to the Power Chat. Who do we have on? Okay. Let me get this. Okay. All righty. Let me share this. The, okay. You take good care of me. You know what I need. And, um, you take good care of me. You know what I need. I need to never end. You know, All righty. I'm gonna go ahead and do the introduction. I was trying to bring up my notes. Let me go ahead and do the introduction. Um, for the people that will watch the replay or the people that come on after the fact, this is the Power Chat. And what I do is I come on once a week and I share different ideas. I share different concepts on various topics. Some of the topics, sorry about that. Some of the topics are in my books. And so what I do is I share on various topics. I share insights, I share inspiration, I share wisdom nuggets, I share motivation. And my goal is to empower, to inspire, to motivate individuals on their journey, whatever journey that you may be on. My goal is to encourage you, inspire you, and empower you for whatever journey that you may be on, to basically to add fuel to your fire. And so that's what the Power Chat is all about. And hopefully, when you leave here, you are inspired, you are empowered, or just spiritually revived. And so, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started with it. The topic that I'm talking about this evening, and this is actually my first Friday night. I usually do the Power Chats on Saturday mornings, well, Saturday noon. But for the month of December, today in the month of December, I have to do them Friday evenings. And so that's why I'm here Friday evening. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. The topic that I'm speaking on this evening is perception. I want to talk about perception. How do you view your season? I want to talk about perception. How do you view your season? Because how you see it is how you respond to it. How you see it is how you respond to it. So my question is, how do you view your trials? How do you view your challenging seasons? How do you view your tribulations? How do you view adversity and opposition? Because one of the things we know is that troubles, trials, and adversity does not discriminate. It doesn't discriminate. No one is exempt from adversity. Nobody is exempt from opposition. Nobody is exempt from troubles and trials. And let me also say this: even if you're making all the right decisions, if you're making all the right choices, that doesn't necessarily mean that you won't encounter troubles and trials and problems and adversity and opposition. You can make all the right, choices and decisions, but no one is exempt. Now, we do have choices and decisions that we make that may not be in alignment, may not be beneficial for our lives, and we have to walk that out and walk out the different outcomes, results, and the consequences. But it's not always because of decisions that we're going through a trial or suffering or a tribulation. And so I wanted to say that because when you think about Jesus, he was perfect and he still encountered tribulation. He still encountered persecution. He still encountered slander, and he was perfect. And so I just wanted to let you know, you may be doing everything right, you may be making all the right decisions and the choices, but trouble knocks on your door, adversity visits you, and it doesn't mean that you've made a lot of bad decisions or wrong decisions. Your hardships or your hard times may be due the result of somebody else's actions, somebody else's decisions, doing something to you. You experiencing hardships and hard times. Maybe it's a result of your own decisions, your own actions. Maybe it's just a growing season. Sometimes we're just in a growing season where you have to be stretched, and you're in a season of coming out of your comfort zone. You're in a season where God is stretching you and God is expanding you, and so you're going through a growing season. Some of your hardships and hard times may be due, like I said, a domino effect from somebody else's decision, somebody else's actions. It's not always because you did something wrong or you made a bad decision or a bad choice. You may just be in a growing season, and that's why you're going through adversity or suffering or troubles. It may be a season of testing. We know the word says that our faith will be tested. So maybe your troubles, your trials, or whatever challenging season that you're in, it could just be testing. It could be that just your faith being tested. It doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. You could be in a season where you're being spiritually attacked. You could be in a season where you're being pushed out of your comfort zone. You could be in a season where you're just being developed and mature. Whatever that season is, it doesn't necessarily mean you made some bad decisions. And so, whatever that season is, just be willing to walk it through. Just be willing to walk it through. But just know at some point, regardless of if you're making all the right decisions and choices, that you're going to encounter pain. We're going to encounter suffering. We're going to encounter problems. We're going to encounter troubling seasons, especially if you're pursuing the will of God, especially if you're trying to walk out the will of God. You're going to experience troublesome and hard seasons. The word says many are the afflictions of the righteous. So especially if you're pursuing the purpose, especially if you're trying to make a godly impact, if you're trying to make a positive impact in your life, in the lives of other people, in the community, then guess what? Expect pushback, expect opposition, expect resistance, because it comes with the territory. It's a part of the process. The word says many are the afflictions of the righteous. And so we have to expect that. So we're guaranteed to face hardships. It's not a matter of if, but when, but knowing that we got help. No, and when you got help, at some point that the grace of God is either going to deliver you out of it, or he's going to empower you to walk through it. But you got help. So all we need to do is surrender to the season. Submit to the process, surrender to the process, and surrender to the season. That's our job, is to surrender to the season. Because if you fight it and resist it and rebel against it, now you're prolonging the season. Now you are stretching out the season. It makes me think about the children of Israel. They fought and they resisted God's instructions. They rejected his demands. They rejected what he was directing them to do. They rejected the will of God and the plan of God. So they wandered around the wilderness for 40 years. They never came out of the season. They wandered. It was a perpetual cycle. So they prolonged the season because they wasn't willing to submit and surrender to it and just go ahead and walk through. So you have to go ahead and surrender to the season. The word says that God will make our enemy his footstool. He will make our enemy our footstool. And we know that the purpose of a footstool, the purpose of a stepping stool, is to raise you, to increase you, to elevate you. So when you have a stepping stool or a footstool in your home, you're using it to reach, to grab something that you couldn't reach. You're using it to obtain something that you couldn't obtain. You're using it to basically stretch you, to receive something, to grab something that your normal height couldn't reach. So a stepping stool or a footstool is something that you step on to reach higher. And so God says, I'm gonna make your enemy your footstool. And so when we think about footstool, we're thinking about stepping on top of something. He said, I'm going to make your enemy something that you step on top of, and it's going to increase you, it's going to elevate you, and it's going to raise you higher. He said, I'm going to make your enemy your footstool. That's what he said. I'm going to make your enemy. And I always think about the purpose of a stepping stool. The purpose of a footstool is to step on it and to be increased, to be able to stretch higher. And that's what God says about our enemy. He said, I'm going to make your enemy your footstool. I'm going to allow it to elevate you. I'm going to allow it to increase you. I'm going to allow it to raise you. I'm going to allow it to increase your faith. I'm going to allow it to increase your mind. I'm going to allow it to raise your faith and raise your endurance. I'm going to make your enemy your footstool. And when I think about enemy, basically an enemy is anything that comes up against you, anything that comes up against your purpose, that's fighting purpose, that's combating your purpose, that's coming up against you. He said, I'm going to make your enemy your footstool. I'm going to make your, and so that makes me think, I know there's something on the other side of it. There's something on the other side of it. whatever adversity, whatever trouble seasons, whatever um problems, whatever darkness that I may be wrestling or grappling with in this season, I know there's something on the other side of it, because he said, I'm gonna make your enemy your footstool. I'm gonna allow this to increase you. I'm gonna allow this to elevate you. I'm gonna allow this to take you high. And so that lets me know, okay, there's something on the other side of it. There's something on the other side of it. It may not feel good right now. I may have to suffer a little while, but he said it's going to become a stepping stool. I'm going to use it to elevate you. I'm going to use it to increase you. So whatever is raising up against you, and I won't be long, whatever is coming up against you, whatever is rising up against you, whatever is pressing you or pressuring you, just know there's something on the other side of it. There's something on the other side of it. He said, I'm going to make your enemy your footstool. I'm going to make your enemy your stepping stool. So he's going to allow my enemy to increase me. He's going to allow my enemy to elevate me, to raise me higher. That's something for me to look forward to. Hey, Latanya, good to see you. That's something for me to look forward to. He said, I'm going to make your enemy your footstool. So whatever is an enemy to me in my life, whatever is an enemy to me, you know, whatever is coming up against you, or coming up against purpose, coming up against the will of God in your life, coming up against destiny, whatever is fighting you, whatever is attacking you, he said, I'm going to make it your footstool. I'm going to make it your stepping stool. I'm going to use it to increase you and to elevate you. That's something to look forward to. So whatever was meant for evil, he said, God said, I'm going to turn it, I'm going to make it elevate you. Whatever it is was meant for evil. It may have been sent for evil, but he said, I'm going to use it to increase you and elevate you. Now, I do know that everything is not from the devil. We know everything is not from the devil. Everything is not evil. There are some things sent to our lives just really to stretch us. There are some things sent to our lives really just to grow us and develop us and mature us. And so we do understand that not everything is the devil, and not everything is the result of a bad decision. It may just be something that God is sending to grow us and mature us and take us to another level. But I love when he says, I'm going to make your enemy your footstool. Whatever your enemy is, I'm going to make it raise you higher. Your enemy could be sickness and disease. Your enemy can be abuse. Your enemy can be depression and despondency. Your enemy could be financial struggles. Your enemy could be hard times or adversity. He said, I'm going to make your enemy your footstool. Whatever rises up against you, there's growth on the other side of it. There's increase on the other side of it. There's maturity on the other side of it. There's promotion on the other side of it. And that's what we have to start thinking about. We have to start looking at it like this. Okay, there's something on the other side of it. Because I know the word tells me, after I have suffered a little while, that the God of grace will restore me and strengthen me and affirm me and set me on a firm foundation. So these are the things, and I'm sharing with you things that God dealt with me with a trying season, with tribulations and adversity and troubles. He said, how you see it is how you respond to it. How you see it is how you respond to it. And so he says there's growth and elevation on the other side of it, but I just need you to walk through it. I'm going to establish you. I'm going to restore you. I'm going to affirm you. There's increase on the other side of it. So now that tells me I just have to change the way I look at it. I got to change the way I view it. I got to change the way I see it. I got to start viewing my and my uncomfortable seasons as an opportunity for increase. So now I'm changing perception. Now I'm changing the way I look at it. I'm looking at it as an opportunity for increase. I'm looking at it as an opportunity for wisdom. I'm looking at it as an opportunity for promotion. I'm looking at it as an opportunity to grow. I'm looking at it as an opportunity to build my faith. Now I'm seeing it differently. He said, because let me tell you something, daughter, you're not looking at it right. I remember God saying that you're not looking at it right. He said, I need you to have the right perception, and I need you to know what's on the other side of it. You may not know the details, but you know that there's increase and elevation and growth and maturity and development on the other side of it. So I need you to get your perception in check. because your faith is about to be elevated. So now I'm looking at this. Okay, this is something that can propel me to the next level. This is something that can launch me to the next level. I want to change the way I see. I want to change the way I see. How do I see my problems and my bad seasons, or my darkness, or my uncomfortableness, or my challenges? How do I see? Because I want to start seeing it as an opportunity to build and grow. How do I see it? I want to change the way I see it. I want to see it as an opportunity to solve a problem, an opportunity to grow in wisdom, an opportunity to grow in knowledge. I want to start seeing it as an opportunity to be increased in my faith, for my spiritual muscles to be increased. I want to see it as an opportunity. How do you see? Everything we go through, it's all about perception. Somebody else, you all, and I know we built differently, and you can be going through the same thing, and you like, why are they walking like it's in calm, and they're not all over the place, and they're not flipping out, and they're not anxiety ridden? It's perception. It's the way they see it. Their perception is determining their results and outcome, because he said, how you see it, daughter, is how you respond to it. How you see it, son, is how you respond to it. So I want to look at it. Okay, this is an opportunity for me to perfect areas in my life that may need to be perfected. I want to change the way I see. It's all about perception. And when I say perception, we know we're talking about inner vision. We're talking about the inner sight. We're talking about that inner internal vision, how I see it in my mind. Because how I see it in my mind is going to determine whether I grow and elevate from it, or whether I remain the same and regress. I won't be long tonight. How I see it, and I'm going to do a part 2 on this. But I just wanted to speak some of it, because I knew I wouldn't be available on Saturday. But I just want to challenge you. How do you see? I really do. I want to challenge you. Your internal vision. How do you see it in your mind? Because how you see it determines whether you come out of this thing growing and developing, elevated, or do you remain stuck and stagnant? Or do you begin to regress? How do you see? And that's what he kept asking me. How do you see it? Are you going to remain the same? Because if you're resisting it, if you're fighting it, if you're rebelling against it, then guess what? You're not going to be able to grow and develop, because you're busy fighting it. You're busy resisting the season. You won't surrender to the season. You won't surrender to the process. You won't submit to the process. You're fighting it. You're resisting it. You're rebelling against it. And so now it's prolonging your season. And you're like, why am I still in this season? Why am I still in this season? Because there must be something that hadn't been perfected in me, because I haven't moved to the next season. Why am I still in this same season? I'm trying to move to another level, a higher dimension. Why am I still in this same season? So you really have to ask yourself that. Am I resisting the season? Am I rebelling against the season? Am I fighting the season? Because if I am, I'm prolonging my season. And I don't want to be resisting when I need to be growing. I don't want to be resisting when I need to be growing. Because the truth of the fact is, the truth of the matter is, everybody don't come out better from a season. Everybody don't move forward. Everybody, you hear people say, you're going to learn from that. You're going to learn from that experience. You're going to be better for that. You're going to grow from that. And that's true if that's what you decide to do. If you make a decision to do that, if you have the right perception to do that. But let's be honest, everybody don't come out better. Everybody don't come out with growth and development. Everybody don't grow from it. Everybody don't increase from it. Some people come out bitter. Some people come out frustrated. Some people come out harsh. Some people come out mad and envious. Some people come out of it complaining and stuck and stagnant. Everybody don't come out of it better. So we can't assume I'm gonna grow and learn from it just because I go through it. And so when they don't come out of it better, we're talking about wasted pain. We're talking about wasted sorrow. We're talking about wasted trouble. We're talking about wasted heartache. wasted experience. I refuse to go through a suffering and a dark season and not get something out of it. I refuse to go through suffering in a dark season and not be wiser and tougher and not be more insightful. I refuse to go through pain and not come out elevated or in my endurance on another level. I refuse to do it. My pain will serve a purpose. Only if I don't resist the season, if I don't fight against it, if I don't rebel against it, then I can come out on the other side and experience the increase, the elevation, the growth, the maturity, and the development. It's all about the perception. I have to maintain the right perception. Perception is everything. Perception is not about what's happening to you. It's about how you think about what's happening to you. It's not about what's happening to you, because I know we can focus on what's going on, the circumstance, the situation, the people, but perception is not about what's happening to you. It's about how you think about what's happening to you. Perception, how do you see? How do you view it? How do you see your process? What do you view? How do you look at your hardship? Because how you see it is how you respond to it, and how you respond to it will determine the outcome and the result. Your response will work against you or work for you. How do you see? How do you see? If you're one of those people that say this is going to destroy me, this will be the life of me, then guess what? You're going to walk around with a defeated attitude. You're going to become fearful. You're going to walk around in fear and doubt. You're going to become stuck and stagnant. You're gonna be consistently questioning God, blaming other people, and then you're gonna move into unbelief. Yeah, we all doubt from time to time, but I'm talking about in a perpetual state of doubt. If you say this is gonna destroy me, this is going to be the life of me, then you're gonna walk around with a defeated attitude. See your perception. If you see it as, okay, here we go again. I'm always going through something. Here we go again. I'm always going through something. Then guess what? You're going to see yourself stuck in a pity party. And I remember the woman of God, Joyce Meyer, saying you can't be pitiful and powerful at the same time. But if you're looking at it, here we go again. Something is always happening to me. You're going to walk around in a pity party feeling sorry for yourself. And that never works out for anybody, because feeling sorry for yourself doesn't benefit you. It doesn't move you forward. It doesn't move you upward. But it's about how you see it. If you see it as this is not fair, nothing ever good happens for me. This is not fair. Nothing ever good happens for me. Well, we already know life is not fair. Has life ever been fair? And so if you get stuck on that, then you're going to be angry. You're going to be bitter. You're going to be griping and complaining and envious. If you get that mindset, think about, I'm talking about perception. If your perception of that season or that hardship or that difficulty or that challenge, if it's like life is not fair, nothing ever good happens to me, you're going to get stuck in anger and envy and bitterness. And now you're filtering everything through that anger and bitterness. Now your responses and your reaction is coming through bitterness and anger. You're responding to people in anger and bitterness because that's your filter. That's your filter. Because you got anger in your heart. You got bitterness in your heart because of your perception, the way you saw and looked at that season, the way you looked at that trial, the way you looked at that adversity. And so now bitter, your lenses is you're looking through the lenses of bitterness and anger. And so now you popping off on people. You're taking it out on your family, friends, and loved ones. You're taking it out on colleagues because you got the bitterness in your heart. How do you perceive? But if you see it as an opportunity, if you see it as this is just a part of the process, if you see it as this something's on the other side of it, then your expectations begin to change. Your expectations, your attitude change, your actions change, your speech change. How you operate and function in it changes. How you see it begins to change. When you look at it as an opportunity, you said, okay, there's elevation and increase on the other side of it. This is about to strengthen me and build me and develop me and mature me. And I'm about to persevere and I'm about to develop and increase in my faith when you see it that way. When your perception is working for you now. The perception is working for you and not against you. You're not in a pity party. You're not walking around with anger and bitter. You're not saying, oh, this is always happening to me. It's all about perception. Your perception determines how you talk about it. It determines how you speak about it, how you speak about your trials and hardships, how you speak about your adversity. Your perception determines what you say, what comes out of your mouth. When you're going through those challenging seasons, I know we slip up and say things from time to time, but I'm saying what's consistently coming out of your mouth? What's consistently coming out of your, what are you speaking? What are you saying? When you're being tried and tested, what's coming out of your mouth? Is it life? Is it death? Or are you saying, things never work out for me? You speaking death? Or are you speaking life, saying, you know what? This gonna work out for my good because I trust God. You know what? Seasons come and go. This is working out for my good. Seasons come and go. To everything, there is a season. I will overcome this. It's about how you see it. What are you speaking when you're going through those challenges, trials, and hard times? What are you saying? Are you speaking life? Are you speaking death? I hate this. Why am I going through this? Why me? Why I'm dealing with this? Why this season taking so long? God, what are you going to do? Because I'm sick of this. I'm tired of this. Or are you saying, God, I know you're working it for my good because you got a plan for my life. You got a vision for my life. And it's only a season. Seasons cannot last. Just like summer can't last and fall can't last and winter can't last. It has to change. It has to shift. Where the seasons in my life have to shift. So how do I choose to see it? What am I going to speak about? I'm going to say I trust it. I trust this process. I know there's something on the other side of it. There's increasing growth and maturity and development on the other side of it. That's the way I have to proceed. When things come up against you, when people attack you, when people come up against you and they attack your character and they assault your character and they slander your name, how do you respond? Do you match their energy? Because I know we're about matching energy nowadays. I match their energy. Oh, so you're going to match their energy? So you're telling me you're going to take a step down and come down to their level and hit ground zero and come down from your level, a level that you've worked for, that God has graced you and you put in work and faith and work and effort and you've grown to another level. And somebody comes up against you and you're telling me you're going to match their energy. You're telling me you're going to come down and take a step down to their level. You're going to take a step down to ground zero and come all the way down from your level because you want to match their energy? No, ma'am. No, sir. I work too hard to get to this level and I'm trying to climb higher. Why would I get off my level to come down to ground zero and match your energy because of something you said against me? What is your response? Are you going to match their energy? Or are you going to seek revenge? Or are you going to allow God to vindicate you? Are you going to allow your success to speak for you, your fruit to speak for you? Are you going to allow your character to defend you? How are you going to respond? It's about perception. How do you see it? Your perception matters. And I said I wasn't going to be on here long, but I just wanted to give a quick word because I'm not going to be here Saturday, tomorrow. But I just want to talk about perception. How do you see it? God dealt with me, I remember a couple of years ago with that, and then he brought it back to me because I was going through a really, really tough season. And he said, hold up, how are you viewing this thing? How are you seeing this thing? How are you looking at it now? Don't get caught up because we have our moments. We have our moments. Don't get caught up. We all can get caught up. We make mistakes. But as long as you're in tune to the Spirit of God and you're in tune to that spirit, that voice that's on the inside of you, you're not going to stay caught up. You're going to have a moment. He said, okay, I need you to change your perception. How are you looking at this thing? How is you looking at this season? How are you looking at this difficulty? How are you looking at this hardship and these hard times? He said, how are you looking at it? And you ain't got to go. I know you want to look at your life and say, what decisions that I make wrong? And sometimes it is because of decisions, but sometimes it's not because you made bad decisions. It's not because you made wrong decisions. Honestly, because it is because you're pursuing the will of God. You're pursuing purpose. You're pursuing destiny. The word says many are the afflictions of the righteous. Many are the afflictions of the righteous. So you just may be in a growing season. So I want to leave you with that. Your season may not be a result of you making bad decisions and bad choices. Sometimes it is. Correct it, walk through the season, come on out of it, grow, learn, reflect, so you can get wisdom and you can go ahead and go to another dimension. But sometimes you're just in a growing season. Sometimes you're just in a stretching season. God got to stretch you. He got to grow you. Sometimes you're just being tested. Sometimes your faith just being tested, because he said your faith will be put on trial. Your faith will be, fire will be put to your faith. So you just may be going through that, because if you're going to go to another level, there's going to be new problems. There's going to be new opposition. There's going to be another level of adversity. So if I can't handle the problems on this level, if I can't handle the adversity on this level, if I can't handle the uncomfortableness on this level, how am I asking to go to another level and handle greater adversity? Because a new level brings greater problems, greater adversity, more problems to solve. Your thinking is on another level. The opposition is on another level. So you may just be going through a season to be stretched and to grow, and so that God can stretch your faith. He can build your spiritual muscles, because he knows where he's taking you. He knows what the next step is. So you got to have some more endurance. You got to have a little bit more insight. You got to have a little bit more wisdom. So your season may just be a season of testing. Faith, testing faith and growing you and stretching you and developing you and maturing you, because it never stops. Testing faith never stops. Development never stops. Growth never stops. So I just want you to just know that your season is not always because you did something wrong. It's not always because you made some really bad decisions. Sometimes we correct it. Sometimes you're just in a growing season. God knows where he's taking you. He knows what you're building and what that is, what that's doing, and where that's going to take you, your work and your building, your effort, and the time you're putting in. He knows where you're going. And he knows he may need to strengthen you. You got to be a little bit tougher for the next level. You got to be a little bit more stronger for the next dimension. And so you're going to have to walk on through that season and know that you are empowered to do it. You are empowered to do it. And so I just wanted to share that word. Hope it was a blessing to you. Perception. I just want you to see it different. I want you to stop and think, how am I seeing this? How am I viewing this? What's my perception? How am I looking at this? Let me find the opportunity. Because Jesus walked the earth and didn't do nothing. He was perfect. And he still got persecuted. He still got beat down. His name still got slandered. His character got assaulted. And he didn't do anything. So you don't have to do something for something to happen to you. You could just be pursuing the will of God, trying to make a godly impact in society, a godly impact on people's lives. And guess what? Opposition shows up. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you. May his favor be upon your life, and may his peace be with you. I love you, and I'll see you all in December. Bye.